Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Let's get started.
Krishna.
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्री गीता ध्यानम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धतामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। नमोऽस्तुते व्यास विशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्रा येन त्वया भारततल्यपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्नः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोणदला जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेणवाहिनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी खलु पाण्डवैरनरति कैवर्तककेशवः पाराशर्यवचत्सरोजमकरं गीतार्थगन्धोत्करं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाभूषितम्। लोके सज्जनषट्परैरहरः पीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिन श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः देवी साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदे गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुर्सुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः।
Hari Om. Good afternoon. As I have mentioned, we'll try and finish chapter 7 today. And please remember, we also have Gita Arti at the end of the satsang. So hopefully we'll have time for all of that. So just a quick summary of what we have done so far. So deluded by my own Maya, Bhagavan is saying this, deluded by my own Maya, this world knows me not as different from my Maya and all of the creation that comes from it. So while my Maya and all of creation are change-oriented, they decay and they perish, I am changeless, I do not decay and I do not perish, imperishable. I am different from them. Ebhyaha. Ebhyaha means I am different from them and I am supreme and immutable, imperishable. Param avyayam. And he continues, Mama Maya, that is my illusion, which is at the top of creation, is Gunamayi, meaning it triggers the three gunas, the sattva, the rajas, and the tamas. And through these gunas, it deludes. And not only that, it is duratyaya, meaning it is very difficult to cross over. And those who are able to cross over are those people who take refuge in me alone. Mameva prapadyante. Four kinds of, then Bhagavan talks about people who do not take refuge in him. Four kinds of people do not seek me. Namam prapadyante. And those four are, number one, the deluded or mudaha, the naradamaha, the lowest among humans. People who conduct actions, perform actions which are not befit of a human being, which do not befit a human being. Mayaya pahrita jnanaha, those who are deprived of knowledge by my Maya. And asuram bhavamashhritaha, those who hate Bhagavan. These people are dushkritinaha. Bhagavan gives the name dushkritinaha to these people. And in contrast to them, the virtuous people, he calls them the sukritinaha. They worship me, bhajante mam. And they also are of four types or four kinds. The artha, who are the distressed, who reach out to me in distress. The artharthi, who seek wealth and enjoyment in life. And the jigyasu, who seeks knowledge in life. The above three are sakami, meaning they reach out to me, they worship me, but they do it with desire. And the fourth one, who is a nishkama bhakta, is the jnani. And Bhagavan says, among the sukritinaha, the jnani is the best. For the jnani, I am the most dear, in fact, dearest. And because of that, the jnani is also dear, very dear to me, exceedingly dear to me. So does that mean that the Sakami Bhaktas, the other three, the Artha, Artharthi, and the Jigyasu, they are not dear to Bhagavan? We'll see what he says. We go to verse 18.
Udhara sarva evaite.
Udara sarva evaite.
Jnani tvatmaiva me matam.
Jnani tvatvaiva me matam.
Astita sahi yuktatma.
Astita sahi yuktatma.
Mamevānuttamāṃ gatim.
Mamevānuttamāṃ gatim.
Udhara sarva evaite. Jnani tvatmaiva me matam. Astita sahi yuktatma. Mamevānuttamāṃ gatim.
Sarva evaite. Bhagavan says, surely all of them, sarva, the artha, the jigyasu, the artharthi, and the jnani, all four of them are noble, udara. Udara means noble. They are all noble. Two, but jnani atmaiva me matam. But the jnani is the self only, atmaiva. He is the self only, or she is the self only, in my opinion, me matam. And why is this so? Bhagavan says, sahi yuktatma. This person surely, yuktatma, with steadfast mind, Ashtitaha is established mam with me, anuttamam gatim as the supreme goal. Firmly established with me as the supreme goal. The devotees are all favorites of the Lord. Among them, the one who practices steadfast devotion, firmly established with Bhagavan as the supreme goal, not having other desires, stands foremost. Even Bhagavan thrives in the realm of mutual coexistence, and hence says that he is dearest to the one who holds him dearest. In fact, Rama had shared a WhatsApp message today. It was a pretty nice one. So, basically he said we need one another in life to be happy and to work together. And it continues, how can you be fine without I? F-I-N-E. How can you be nice without I? So I am important. There are a few others, but I'm saying so. Similarly, without you, how can I laugh without you? L-A-U-G-H. How can I have fun without you? F-U-N. So without I and you, even Bhagavan is saying, I need you and you need me. The one who holds me highest is highest for me. Bhagavan is also saying that. For the human being, this is the state of mind. For us to just, imagine, for us to veil everything else like Maya veils with this vision of Bhagavan and just have him steadfast, foremost, completely as the supreme goal. It is nothing but a state of mind. Just like the mind falls devotedly in love for another human being, the I and the you, it rises devotedly in love for Bhagavan. And Bhagavan continues in verse 19.
Bahunam janmanam ante
Bahunam janmanam ante
Jnanavan mam prapadyate
Jnanavan mam prapadyate
Vasudeva sarvamiti
Vasudeva sarvamiti
Samahatma sudurlabha
Samahatma sudurlabha
Bahunam janmanam ante Jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti Samahatma sudurlabha.
Bahunam janmanam ante. After many births, in the end, birth after birth after birth, in the very end, the wise, the Jnanavan, the one with the knowledge of what? Sutre Manigana Iva, knowing the substratum behind the Maya and distinguishing the two, being able to discriminate between the two. Mam prapadyate, reaches me. Bhagavan says after many janmas. Why does he say that? Let's just observe that for a moment. See, in human birth, and we have seen this till now also. In human birth, we experience sattva, rajas, tamas. In fact, it comes from the apara prakriti of Bhagavan himself. We allow one to be dominant above the other. Though all of them, we have experience all of them in various permutations, combinations. We allow one of them to be dominant over the other. We have Purushartha. That means we have human goals. We aspire for something and work towards achieving that something. We finally choose the Sattva to be the dominant guna. Over a period of time, over many janmas, finally we choose that I want Sattva to be my dominant guna. We put an effort for the Sattva to become dominant. And then we gain, through this effort, we gain Chitta Shuddhi. And how does it come? Directly through the performance of Karma Yoga. Then we gain Chitta Ekagratha through performance of Jnana Yoga. And we become a Yoga Rudha, well established, at the top of the ladder of yoga. Then we become a Jnani through Bhakti Yoga. And finally, we remain steadfast in the self, with Bhagavan as our supreme goal. And because one birth may not be enough for all of this, it may take cycles. The soul takes many births. And this jnani then realizes and experiences, Bhagavan says, iti Vasudeva sarvam, that Vasudeva is all, is everything. Vasu comes from the root vas. Vas means to pervade, to oversee, to pervade. And Deva means consciousness. Jyotinath Devaha, the one that illumines, the Lord. Vasu represents the Apara Prakriti, all elements of creation beginning from Prakriti or Maya. And Vasudeva is the Deva or Lord of Vasu. The Deva of Apara Prakriti, the Lord of Apara Prakriti, that which enables Apara Prakriti to shine, the Lord of all, the Lord of everything. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. And this person with such a great soul, Bhagavan says, is extremely rare. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Mahatma, this great soul, this person who recognizes, understands, fully comprehends Vasudeva Sarvamiti. That Mahatma is Sudurlabha, is extremely rare. If you remember in the beginning of this chapter, Bhagavan had said, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatamapi siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tatvataha. There, what did he say? He said, among thousands of human beings, one person strives for perfection. And even among the successful who are striving, and the successful in striving, after striving, only one knows me in essence. The one among the thousands is the Artha or the Artharthi or the Jigyasu. And the rare among these rare is the Mahatma, the Jnani. And this person knows me. How does this person know me? Vasudeva Sarvamiti. What about the Dushkritinaha? Bhagavan now pays attention to them. They also have desires. Actually, they have even more desires. But the problem is that their connection is not with Bhagavan. Where then is their connection? We will see that in the next verse, verse 20.
Kamestaiste hritajnanaha
Kamaistaistai hritajnanaha
prapadyanti nyadevataha
Prapadyantena devataha
tam niyamamasthaya
tam niyamamasthaya
prakritya niyata swaya
prakritya niyata swaya.
Kamestaiste hritajnanaha prapadyanti nyadevataha tam niyamamasthaya prakritya niyata swaya.
Now these are the Dushkritinahas. Okay, so Bhagavan says Hritagnyanaha, those whose wisdom has been looted away, has been stolen away. Their discriminative capability, the Viveka Shakti, that has gone away. By what? By Kamaistaistai. Kamaistaistaihi. By this or that desire. This or that. It may be anything. Varied desires that are not tempered by the love for Bhagavan. When love for Bhagavan is there, even desires become a means to gain him. With love for God, one's desire leads that person, or rather the love for God leads that person to become a devotee, even if you have desires. These are like the Sukritinaha. For them, like a string, that connects the flyer to the kite. So if I'm flying a kite, there is the string that connects me to the kite. I have to hold on to that string. Their devotion connects their desires to Bhagavan. Bhagavan is soaring high, watching over all of the world. The devotion connects the desire to Bhagavan. But those whose wisdom has been stolen away, by what? By their own desires. What happens then? Prapatyante anya devataha. They approach other deities. Why do they do that? Because oftentimes they have desires, but they are not able to fulfill them. Their desires propel them to resort to any and every means to get it fulfilled. Whatever means it may be, including getting assistance from supernatural powers. See, Bhagavan is not a supernatural power. Bhagavan is a natural power. But they go to supernatural powers. Powers that enable things like bewildering powers, mohana, paralyzing powers, stambhana, akarshana, the attracting powers, or that enable attraction, vashikarana, the bewitching powers, marana, the killing powers, and uchatana, the ruining powers. So these are the anya devatas, and these dushkritinahas, these people who are kritaghyanaha, whose wisdom has been looted away, they worship these anya devatas. They don't go to Vasudevata. They don't go to Vasudeva. They go to anya deva. And then tam niyamamastasya. Tam, this or that. Niyama, practices they follow. They follow various kinds. You just have to look around. How many kinds of various practices people follow? They follow all those kind of practices to appease these anya devata. These anya devata can be from Indra to Bhuta Pishasha. Okay, there are n number of devatas. And who is making them do all of this? Are these devatas coming and saying, hey, do this, please me, appease me like this? No, they are not doing anything like that. Prakritaya niyata swayaha, led by one's own nature, Prakriti. Propelled by their desires, they are drawn to these powers that enable such capabilities. We only have to look around, like I just said, in the world, to see, look at people all around being drawn to ungodly powers and then practicing rituals to appease them. I will not dwell on that right now. You can, we are all, most of us, I think all of us are Hindus, or most of us are. So, we know. But what about people who don't follow rituals in customs where there are no rituals? Or the modern world which does not practice ritual. You see this exact same thing. We witness this in human behavior and conduct. And I'll give you a very stark example, contrasting example of the last two presidents of the United States of America. That's a prime contrasting example. I don't think they had time also, when you're governing that kind of a country, where do you do yagyas and rituals and all of that? In that sense, yagya, not sacrifice, right? So while Obama's behavior and conduct were indicative of spiritual progress and devotion to God, Trump's behavior and actions were those which are indicative of being magnetically drawn to ungodly powers. And magnetically, right till the end, there was some kind of a pull which doesn't allow the person to see sanity. Doesn't. What a big proof, at an international global stage. Classic example of a person driven by desires, without devotion, being magnetically drawn to ungodly powers. And setting an example of himself. Okay, but Bhagavan is Yogeshwara. He only works through these quote-unquote Anya Devatas also. That he talks about in the next two verses. He will recite verses 21 and 22 together.
Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha.
Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha.
Shraddhayarchitum ichchati.
Shraddhayarchitum ichchati.
Tasya chalam shraddham.
तस्य तस्याचलां श्रद्धां
तामेव विददाम्यहम्
तामेव विदधाम्यहम्
सतया श्रद्धया युक्तः
सतया श्रद्धया युक्तः
तस्याराधनमीहते
तस्याराधनमीहते
लभते च ततः कामान्
लभते च तत्तामान्
मयैव विहतान् हितान्
मयैव विहतान् हितान्
यो यो यां यां तनुं भक्तः श्रद्धयार्चितुमिच्छति तस्य तस्याचलां श्रद्धां तामेव विददाम्यहम् सतया श्रद्धया युक्तः तस्याराधनमीहते लभते च ततः कामान् मयैव विहितान् हितान्.
I made a couple of mistakes in the recitation, so I'll correct those, when we go through the verses. Yo means yaha yaha, whoever who bhakta, the devotee is. By the way, these are also bhaktas for Anya Devta. Whoever this devotee is, yam yam tanum, whichever, yam yam, whichever, tanum form, whichever form of that Anya Devata, from Indra to Bhuta Pisacha, whatever. Shraddhaya, with faith, architum ichchati, wishes or desires to worship. So whoever the devotee may be and whichever form they desire to worship, what do I, Bhagavan, what do I do in these situations? Tasya tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadhanyaham. Their faith, their devotion to these kind of forms, I make it stronger and unflinching. In the case of Artha, Artharthi and Jigyasu, they have desires, but they are devoted to me. These people have desires, but they are devoted to other forms. I make their devotion to those forms stronger. And then these people, Bhagavan continues, these people, he says, endowed with this faith, yuktaha shraddhaya, endowed with this kind of faith. This person, sataya, sa means this person, engages in the worship of that form. Tasya aradhana mihate. Tasya aradhana mihate. Endowed with this kind of devotion, which I have made stronger for this person. The person continues to worship that other form. And from that, what happens? From that, fulfills his or her desires. Tataha labhate kaman, fulfills his or her desire. And Bhagavan says, these indeed are surely ordained by me. Maya iva vihitan hitan. Vihitan. Vihitan means ordained. Maya, by me. Ordained by me. So Bhagavan is the para prakriti, and all these quote unquote other forms, Anya Devata, what are they? They are part of the apara prakriti. In fact, in chapter 11, we'll see, when Arjuna says, show me your form, who are you? You will see everything. So these are the apara prakriti. Thus, whatever is being fulfilled by them is ordained by Bhagavan only. And then he continues in the next verse.
Antavattu phalam tesham.
Antavattu phalam tesham.
Tadbhavatyalpamedhasam.
Tadbhavatyalpamedhasam.
Devan devayajo yanti.
Devan devayajo yanti.
Madbhakta yanti mamapi.
Madbhakta yanti mamapi.
Antavattu phalam tesham तद्भवत्यल्पमेधसां देवान् देवयजो यान्ति मद्भक्ता यान्ति मामपि.
Alpamedasam, those of limited, the last word in the first line, Alpamedasam, those of limited intelligence. Alpa means limited. Medha, intelligence. People without the maturity of understanding. And that maturity that breaks through the fetters of desires, the binding of desires, the shackles of desires. So the understanding helps, the maturity and the understanding that the Jnani obtains, that helps those people break those shackles. But a person who is not able to break those shackles, a person whose maturity is not there, because of which intelligence is limited, that person. Why? Because their wisdom has been stolen away, looted away. And these desires are not connected to Bhagavan by devotion also. So none of these qualifications are there. First of all, desires are there. Then those desires are not there. The maturity to break away from those desires is not there. They are bound to the desires. Then the devotion, the cord that connects the desires to Bhagavan is also not there. None of these is there. Then worshipping those kind of deities which they feel will fulfill their desires, what do they get? What do they attain? Antavattu phalam, finite results. Those that perish with time. Joys that are ephemeral. As against happiness that is deep and everlasting. For poor Trump, he didn't even get the next 4 years, I mean, he tried his best, but he must have gone to some wrong deity, Even that joy, ephemeral joy, he didn't get. But people do get. Antavanta phalam. And then with that, yanti devan deva yajo. They go to yanti, the deities that they are worshipping. Devan deva yajo. Whereas, comparatively, the Madbhakta, my devotee, who the Artharthi, Jigyasu, Jnani, who are my devotee, yanti mamapi, they reach me also. This is a beautiful usage by Bhagavan here. Huh? Yanti mamapi. What does he mean, mamapi? Yanti mam is good enough, no? But he's saying yanti mamapi, because it implies that they get all their desires fulfilled and they reach me. So, but for the Jnani who is desireless, the other three, they are able to get their desires fulfilled and they also reach. They attain me. The other deities, they fulfill one's desires and imprison the seeker in their realm. Bhagavans fulfill their desires and ensures that they attain me. We can also say that Bhagavan is also imprisoning. But when Bhagavan attains, or when you attain Bhagavan, you are set free. That is the difference. There are no procedures, processes. You do this for me, I will give you. I will do this for you. By the way, it works both ways. Huh? The deity controls you and you, actually it starts the other way. You control the deity and then the deity controls you. I will do this for you, oh God. Please give me this. And the deity says, you do this for me. I will give you this. With Bhagavan, there is no give and take. There are no these kind of deals, contracts. There is no contract with Bhagavan. So one of the things that we use in the corporate world often is do not sacrifice the long term for short term gain. Ultimate happiness that touches the core, that happiness that goes deep, the happiness that is everlasting. We talked about it in the introductory session itself. We should strive to gain that happiness rather than the ephemeral joys. Bhagavan's limited aspects are called deities. out of courtesy. To get to the king is extremely difficult. But the benefit that accrues from getting to the king is also substantial. See, today, a lot of people who are working, I know in the corporate world, startups, corporations, everyone is trying to get into the vision within the sight, eyesight, ear sight, hearings, of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Because, if you get into his vision and he says, yeah, this is good work, then for all you know, it will just take off. A lot of people are trying that. See, you can also go to the minister, the secretary, and so on and so forth. But correspondingly, the result is much smaller. So, reaching the highest, the supreme in any establishment gives a lot more benefit, which are longer lasting. Similarly, getting the grace of Bhagwan is very difficult. He says, no, to cross over is so difficult. Bhagwan also says that. But it's all conducive to Jnana, Bhakti and Mukti. See, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, and I quote, healing disease, winning litigation, walking on water, trivial psychic powers such as these appeal most to people of base mental make. But the sole intent of true devotees is gaining the gracious vision of the Lord. Unquote. But then if this is so, why is it, O Lord, that people don't recognize you, that people don't understand your true nature? Why is that so? Bhagavan talks about that in the next verse.
Avyaktam yaktimapannam
Avyaktam yaktimapannam
manyanti mama buddhayaha
manyante mama buddhayaha
param bhavamajanantaha
param bhavamajanantaha
mamapyayamanuttamam
mamavyayanumuttamam
avyaktam yaktimapannam manyanti mama buddhayaha param bhavamajanantaha mamavyayamanuttamam.
Abuddhayaha, those with limited buddhi, lacking in intelligence. They think manyate. They think incorrectly. They misunderstand. And what is it that they misunderstand? Now, please note that this is Sri Krishna speaking. Okay? This is not Lord Vishnu speaking from Vaikuntha or Shiva speaking from Kailash. This is Sri Krishna speaking, Senayor Ubayor Madhye, in the middle of a battlefield. The Avatara is speaking. Remember Arjuna's question? He said, you are talking, what are you saying, Krishna? Sun God, you taught Sun God, but Sun God is there for so many eons. You just were born, almost close to my date of birth. What are you talking? He asks. So Krishna is saying now, he says that these people, these Abuddhaya, the people who don't understand, they think, Avyaktam, Vyaktimapannam. I was not there before. I was unmanifest and have now come into being. Now I am manifest. Like all the jivas, I have also taken birth and I have come into being. When Sri Krishna went as an emissary to Hastinapura, the last ditch effort to avoid the war, Duryodhana set out to imprison him. He had made elaborate plans. Sri Krishna is coming and he is going to be an emissary. You know even today's world how we treat emissaries, diplomatic immunity. But Duryodhana, who cared? Duryodhana didn't care for any kind of diplomatic immunity. Okay, so he said, I am going to arrest this guy. And Krishna comes and he has planned it out and all of that. Krishna had to show his Virat Swarupa. When Krishna showed his Vishwarupa to Arjuna, tremendous amount of devotion arose in it. Already Arjuna is devoted. But we will see after Vishwarupa, unbelievable amount of devotion. Till then, if you notice in verse 7 of chapter 2, Arjuna says, Shishyasteham Shadimam Prapannam. I am your pupil. I am your disciple. Please teach me. He has not said, you are God. The devotion goes on increasing through the Bhagavad Gita, if you see. And after Vishwarupa, Arjuna completely Sharanagati. After that, devotion completely goes to a different realm altogether. But when Duryodhana also saw, look at, whatever he has done, he got to see the Virat Swarup. He also saw that. But even after seeing the Virat Swarup, he called it magic. He thought it was some magic, some kind of course, Bhagavan is a magician. But he was not enamored. It didn't give rise to any devotion. It was just entertainment for him. Not everyone becomes his devotee, even when you have such close proximity. And Ajananto, not knowing, Mama Param Bhavam, my highest nature, the all-pervading presence, the Paraprakriti, not knowing it completely at all, which is even higher than Aparaprakriti, which you are seeing now, Arjuna, in front of you, the avatar. Not knowing that, not knowing his supreme nature, the highest nature, Avyayanumuttamam, the imperishable, the better than the best. Avyaya, imperishable, Uttamam, Anumuttamam, the better than the best. Thus, not knowing my nature, they see me as a jiva. And what is the cause of this ignorance? In the next verse.
Naham prakasha sarvasya.
Naham prakasha sarvasya.
Yogamaya samavritaha.
Yogamaya samavritaha.
Mudho yamna bhijanati.
Mudho yamna bhijanati.
Loko mamajamavyayam.
Loko mamajamavyayam.
Naham prakasha sarvasya. Yogamaya samavritaha. Mudho yamna bhijanati. Loko mamajamavyayam.
Aham na prakashaha sarvasya. I am na prakashaha, not readily available, sarvasya, for everybody. Bhagavan says, I am not readily available for everybody. Why? Because there is a stipulation. And what is that? He says, samavritaha yogamaya. Very well covered, samavritaha. Extremely well covered, veiled by yogamaya. Maya, that is established in sattva, rajas, tamas. I am veiled by that Maya, by my Aparaprakriti. And because of this, Mudho yam loko nabhijanati. This Mudho yam loko, this deluded world, nabhijanati, does not know. The deluded may be aware. Janati is awareness. He doesn't use the word na janati, na abhijanati. He's not saying na janati. For all you know, they may be aware. Na abhijanati. Abhi means fully. They do not understand me. They do not fully know me. And what does that not fully know me? See, Duryodhana has seen Krishna. Duryodhana has seen the Virat Swarup of Krishna. He knows. He's seeing. But he, even after seeing, does not understand, does not completely know Mamajam Avyayam. Mamajam, me as the unborn. I'm not. They think I'm a physical jiva standing in front, doing some magic. Mamajam Avyayam. Mamajam, I'm unborn. And Avyayam, I'm imperishable. Bhagavan Sri Krishna declines to stay in the palace in Hastinapura when he goes as emissary. And he goes to Vidura's house instead. And look at the contrast now. That string of devotion, that cord of devotion that connects desire to the Lord. The story goes that Vidura is feeding Bhagavan bananas. Okay? And he peels the bananas and gives to Bhagavan. What does he give? He peels the banana, puts the fruit aside and gives the chilka. the peel, banana peel. And Bhagavan is eating banana peel after banana peel, happily relishing it. So there, Dhritarashtra had tried to convince Krishna, please stay back. I prepared this massive feast for you. You'll have all the comfort here. Vidura is poor minister, by the way. Compared to the palace, his house is a very small house. A simple minister. You see now sometimes some of these top guys, like Narayan Murthy is well known, right? So it's known to be pretty much of a simpleton, extremely rich, but simple desires and means, simple house, simple comforts and so on. So Vidura was like that. So Bhagavan chooses to go to his house, and there he actually he consumes one after the other peel of banana. And Vidura, completely immersed in devotion, doesn't even realize what he's doing. So Bhagavan says that my instruction to my Maya is not to reveal me to the deluded. Like the magician throws a spell in the audience and keeps the audience in the illusion with regard to what he is showing, the magic show, with regard to his performance. However, what appears as magic and people are going, aha, who and all, the people who know the trick, the magician himself, his staff, maybe his family, the people who have understood the trick, they all completely know what's going on. They have full view of what the trick is. The nature of his play is very well known. Similarly, the Lord, the magician, who has produced this magic of this world, its nature is well known only to him and to his devotees. The sun that cannot be hidden by anything in this universe. It appears to be hidden by the cloud. Today, actually, where I am sitting, there is cloud. But this patch itself cannot exist without the aid of sunlight. We all see this cloud because of sunlight. If there were no sunlight, you would not see the cloud. So the originator of this cloud is the sun itself. This cloud is the Yoga Maya, concealing the sun. Thus, the Prakriti, which is made up of the three gunas, is the Yoga Maya, concealing, veiling Ishvara. But this Maya that veils does not affect Bhagavan. It actually becomes his instrument for him to be the Sarvagya, the all-knowing. That he talks about in the next verse.
Vedaham samatitani.
Vedaham samatitani.
Vartamanani charjuna.
Vartamanani charjuna.
Bhavishyani cha bhutani.
Bhavishyani cha bhutani.
Mam tu vedana kaschana.
Mam tu vedana kaschana.
Vedaham samatitani. Vartamanani charjuna. Bhavishyani cha bhutani. Mam tu vedana kaschana.
So Bhagavan tells Arjuna, oh Arjuna, I know the long gone past. Atitani. Atitani is past. Samatitani is eternal past. I know the entire past. I know the present, whatever is there in the now. Vartamanani. I know what will come in the future. Bhavishyani. I know about all the objects, all the bhutas, whatever they may be, moving, non-moving, anything. All bhutani. But then he says, but Arjuna, mam tu vedana kaschana. Nobody knows me. The idea that God is omniscient is common in all religions. We all know that. Everybody says that. Sanatana Dharma gives it a scientific twist, gives a scientific view of this principle. The self as the pure consciousness is illuminating principle. That's the pure illuminating principle. That brings the entire field of the mind and the intellect under the realm of awareness. like the sunlight that illuminates all the objects in the world. So when my eyes illumine something, a form, when my ears illumine some kind of a sound, I can say that I understand that particular form or that particular sound. Awareness, knowing, illumining. These are grades, one above the other, of understanding from low to high. The self is the knower of everything, in everyone, at all times, and in all places. Knower of everything, in everyone, at all times, in all places. And that is what Sri Krishna means when he says, I know all the beings, the whole past, the present, and the future. But what? But it's like, see, the electricity revolves the fan, but the fan can never fan the electricity. I can take my pet dog, Simba and Shadow, to a dog show and make them participate. But my pet cannot take me to a human show and make me participate. The consciousness principle vitalizes the mind and intellect and makes them capable of feeling and thinking. And Bhagavan declares here that though he knows everything at all times, in all places, he says, but no one knows me. He is obviously referring to everyone else other than the Mahatma, that one in a million, one in 1,000, whatever thousands. Okay, that person is not what he has very explicitly clarified earlier. When he says here, anyone, everyone, nobody knows me, it's to the exclusion of that Mahatma. Because the Mahatma understands the Sutra as well as the Manigana. So he says, nobody knows me. Why is it so? Why do most people not know Bhagavan, leave alone love Bhagavan? They don't even know him. Bhagavan talks about that in the next verse, 27.
Ichcha dvesha samuttena
Ichcha dvesha samuttena
dvandva mohena bharata
dvandva mohena bharata
sarva bhutani sammoham
sarva bhutani sammoham
sarge yanti parantapa
sarge yanti parantapa.
Ichcha dvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa.
Ichcha dvesha. Ichcha means likes, dvesha means dislikes. These two are with us continuously, pressurizing. They create pressure within us to do things as per their direction. We are slaves to our likes and dislikes. And because of these two, we land up in Dvandva, the pair of opposites. Remember, we have seen this earlier also. Sukha Dukha, Labha Alabha, Jaya Ajaya, and so on. Lots of them. But these are representatives of the pairs of opposites. And Bhagavan says that these always keep us mohina, deluded. And thus, sarge sarva bhutani yanti sammoham. Sarge, while alive, meaning throughout life. Sarva bhutani, all beings, yanti sammoham, remain deluded. Driven by the pressure to fulfill or to abide by their likes and dislikes. Among the pairs of opposites, the foremost and the most lasting one is pertaining to life and death. The existence of one to the exclusion of the other is impossible. Right? It can't be that you birth and there's no death. It's impossible. It can't be that they die and there's no birth. So the existence of one to the exclusion of the other is impossible. From birth, a being keeps, even a rock from birth proceeds towards its death. Someday the rock is also going to perish. And you see that actually in some places, you can see the rock eroding. You know, if you go to some of these mountains and all, and you keep going to the same spot, you will see the shape of the rock changing. So even a stone being, there are different kinds of stone being, plant being, animal being, human being, based on the level of evolution of these beings. So all beings, Sarva Bhutani, all beings, from birth, they proceed towards their death. And the period in between these 2 points is life. Of these two, the desire for the former and the aversion for the desire for the former meaning desire for life, and the aversion for death. I don't want to die. I love to live forever. I want my life. If somebody dies who's dear to me, it's the worst thing that has happened. For a good period of time, I'm in mourning. But by the way, we all come back. But for a good period of time, I'm in mourning. So there is aversion to death and there is attachment, like for life, dislike for death. And these are there from the very beginning, even from the, from the time of the birth. It is there. Even small children feel it. We remain deluded while knowing all the time that we are deluded. We are aware that we are deluded. We like to be deluded. We choose to be deluded. We actually enjoy this illusion. Love for God comes when there is peace and quiet in the mind. But if the entire day we are bombarded with ichha dvesha, like and dislike, dvandva moha, extremes, delusion, all the time, that is what is, we are drowned in that all our life. That's what we focus on, entire life. And forget about love in that case, we don't even know Bhagavan. Because Bhagavan will come to the mind that has become Shuddha, Chitta which has become Shuddha. When there is Chitta Shuddhi, he takes his first step into the mind. After that, long way to go. Chitta Shuddhi is one of the initial steps. So forget about when that quiet is not there. How will we know Bhagavan? Forget about having love for Bhagavan. We are, because of this likes and dislikes, we are in this samsara, trying to fulfill our likes and trying to run away from dislikes. And oftentimes we find that as much as we run away from dislike, that is what keeps being close to us. And as much as we try to fulfill likes, the farther it runs away from us. But are there exceptions to this, what we witness, this kind of being completely deluded in the likes and dislikes? Bhagavan talks about it in verse 28.
Yesham tvantagatam papam.
Yesham tvantagatam papam.
Jananam punya karmanam.
Jananam punya karmanam.
Te dvandva moha nirmukta.
Te dvandva moha nirmuktaha.
Bhajante mam dridhavrataha.
Bhajante mam dridhavrataha.
Yesham tvantagatam papam. Jananam punya karmanam. Te dvandva moha nirmuktaha. Bhajante mam dridhavrataha.
So Bhagavan says, Yesham tvantagatam papam. But to tvantagatam, tva is two. But for those people or of those people, Yesham, the Jananam, Yesham Jananam, papam antagatam, which means their sins have come to an end. Their sins have been destroyed. And what does Bhagavan say sins are while we are living? Sins are the disturbances in the mind. So the disturbances in the mind have been destroyed. The Shadripus have been destroyed. And when the Shadripus in the mind are not there, that means the mind is quiet, calm, peaceful. And how does the mind become quiet, calm, peaceful? Punya karmanam, by performance of noble deeds. And when the papa has gone away, when the mind is at peace, because of performance of punya karma, what happens then? They, these people, dvandva moha nirmukta. Dvandva moha. the pairs of opposite, delusion. Nirmukta, become free. They become free from the pairs of opposites and the resulting delusion. They become pure-minded. And by being pure-minded, bhajante mam, they worship me. Dhrida vritaha, steadfast in their resolution for spiritual pursuit. Dhrida nishchaya, we say, no? Dhrida vrita. Vrita is woe. Nishchaya is determination. So this is beyond determination. Woe. Steadfast woes. Resolution. Resolute woes. So unswavering adoration towards the Lord, of the Lord, for the Lord is possible only to those whose mind is freed of disturbances, free of taint. Only when it is unruffled, unaffected by the pairs of opposites, by the likes and dislikes, only then can a person become steadfast in their woes. Only when I focus, people will say here, some of my friends say that, I keep coming back to tennis. When I focus on my shot is when my shot is excellent in tennis or in cricket. But to focus on that shot, I have to have a clean mind which is not distracted by other things. So the mind that has become free of disturbances, that is the mind that is capable of becoming steadfast in the worship of Bhagavan. And the worship of Bhagavan is only possible for these souls who make this effort, who are dedicated. See, it's like this rusty piece of iron. It is not susceptible to magnetization. It will be lying there. You bring magnets, nothing will happen to it. But you remove the rust, you clean it up completely. Then you will see that it gets drawn towards the magnet. Similarly, a mind that is rusty, with what? With the dvandva, with the ragadveshas. That mind cannot get attracted towards Bhagavan. Because that mind is rusty with attachment, with aversion, with likes, with dislikes, with sukha dukkha, labha labha, jaya jaya. And devotion does not arise in that kind of a mind. Whereas in a pure mind, bhakti rises readily. With this, Bhagavan actually completes the teaching of Jnana and Vijnana. Jnana Vijnana. Remember, that's our chapter 7. Yoga of knowledge and wisdom. The next two verses, Bhagavan is kind of testing us. Bhagavan is a great teacher, okay? Sometimes in anticipation, he will give an answer. Sometimes he will just prod, just say something, looking at the student. Is the student alert enough to ask me what am I talking about? That is what Bhagavan does here. He just, prods Arjuna in the next two verses. We will recite both of them together.
Jara marana mokshaya.
Jara marana mokshaya.
Mamashritya yatanti ye.
Mamashritya yatanti ye.
Te brahma tadvidu krishnam.
Te brahma tadvidu krishnam.
Adhyatmam karma chakilam.
Adhyatmam karma chakilam.
Sadhibhutadi daivam mam.
Sadhibhutadi daivam mam.
Sadhiyajnam cha ye viduhu.
Sadhiyajnam cha ye viduhu.
Prayana kale pichamam.
Prayana kale pichamam.
Te viduryukta chetasaha.
Te viduryukta chetasaha.
Jara marana mokshaya. Mamashritya yatanti ye. Te brahma tadvidu krishnam. Adhyatmam karma chakhilam. Sadhibhutadi devam mam. Sadhiyajnam cha ye viduhu. Prayana kale pichamam. Te viduryukta chetasaha.
So we'll just, Bhagavan is listing a few terms. We will just state those few terms, but we will not go into detail, because as much as Bhagavan is testing Arjuna. Arjuna is proving himself to be a very capable student. And in the next chapter, it will start with Arjuna asking question about what is this you are saying, Bhagavan. Each of these points that Bhagavan is making in these 2 verses, Arjuna will ask questions on each of them. So Bhagavan says, those who worship me for transcending samsara, for liberation. Basically, see, what did we see now? That you are not able to worship Bhagavan because you are bound in this samsara. Likes, dislike, raga, dvesha, the dandvaha, moha, because of which you are not able to. So, but you cross all of that, you purify your mind and you start worshipping Bhagavan with the goal for transcending the mumukshutva. The mumuksha is who we are talking about here. For transcending samsara, with the goal for liberation. These are the jigyasu, one who has gone beyond artha, artharthi, the jigyasu. And possibly also the jnani. Those who strive spiritually, having taken refuge in me, they come to know. That's what Bhagavan says. Know what? They come to know me. How? He says, Te Brahma, that Brahman, number 1. Number 2, Adhyatmam, the pure self. They come to know. Number 3, Karma Akhilam. They come to know. All action that is required to complete their pursuit. Number 4, Adi Bhuta. Along with my physical manifestations, they come to know me. Adi Daiva. Along with my subtler effulgent principles, they come to know me. Adi Yagyam. Along with the Yagyas, they come to know. And not only that, Prayana Kalepi. Even at the time of their death, that last moment, they say, no, that this person is blessed. We say Mahatma Gandhi is blessed, Ram, Ram, he said, and he went. Hey Ram. At that time, what do you do for you to get Bhagwan's name at that time? You have to live life in a certain manner. If you live life in a different manner, that different is only going to come at that time. If you are going to be with Anya Devata, whatever that Devata is, it could be Kubera, it could be Indra. If you're running after money, Kubera. If you're running after power, Indra. If you're running after some nonsense, maybe Bhuta Pishasha, whatever it may be. That Devata is what will come when the prana leaves. But what should come? We all say, why do we say blessed is that person? Passed away peacefully thinking about Bhagavan. Why? Then we should also strive to be in that person's place. So Bhagavan says, Prayana Kalepi, at that time also, even at the time of the death, they come to know me. So in these 2 verses, Bhagavan has just given these words, okay? He has not. And Arjuna will ask one by one, what is this? Kim te Brahma? We will not go to that now. It's already time. Okay, so he will ask. Anyway, we will come to that next chapter. So chapter 8 is all about Bhagavan answering Arjuna's question about these points that he has made. Beautiful chapter that is also. So we conclude. We will not repeat the verses because there's no time. We have to do Gita Arti also.
Om Tat Saditi.
Om Tat Saditi.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su.
Upanishatsu.
Upanishatsu.
Brahma Vidyayam.
Brahma Vidyayam.
Yoga Shastre.
Yoga Shastre.
Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade.
Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade.
Jnana Vijnana Yogo Nama.
Jnana Vijnana Yogo Nama.
Saptamodhyayaha.
Saptamodhyayaha. So quickly, learnings and practice. Remember, after our sadhana, what is our sadhana after this chapter? But before that, quick revision of our sadhana up till now. Chapter 1, watch for shoka and moha. remove them. Chapter 2, maintain equipoise in extremities. Here also Bhagavan talks about extremities. Chapter 2, samatvam yoga uchyate, meaning sama buddhi in the dvandvaha. Chapter 3, samachara, perform actions with utmost devotion, dedication and perfection. Chapter 4, karmanya karmanya paschet, not being the doer while doing. By what? By seeing inaction in action and action in inaction. We should be practicing this. Chapter 5, Padma Patram Ivam Bhasa. Like the lotus petal which is in water but is untouched by water, similarly, we live in the world, experience everything, but be untouched by worldly experiences while in contact with the world. Chapter 6, Mam Pashyati Sarvatra, sees me everywhere, and Sarvam Cha Mai Pashyati, sees everything in me. Practice this when in meditation. And also, have I meditated today? And now chapter 7, Na tvaham teshu te mai. Bhagavan says this. Indeed, I am not in them. They are in me. Let's maintain awareness of this. The pure consciousness untouched in the midst of varied thoughts. And it's a difficult one, by the way, but we should try. And a little bit simpler one, again in this chapter, Mai Sarvamidam Prottam Sutre Maniganaiva. All the varieties are strung in me, just like gems on a string. So whatever we see, the variety in this world that we experience, see that as the Manigana, the gems, and the Bhagavan, that is the string that is weaving all of this together. That is the sadhana for this chapter.
Asato ma satgamaya tamasto ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritamgamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.
We'll do Gita Arti.
Om Jaya Bhagavat Ki Maya Jaya Bhagavat Ki Hariya Kamala Viharini Hariya Kamala Viharini Sundara Sunite Om Jaya Bhagavat Ki Almasumal Prakashini Kama Sakti Hara Raya Kama Sakti Hara Tattva Jnana Kashini Tattva Kashini Vidya Brahmata Om Jaya Bhagavat Gita Nishchala Bhakti Vidharini Nirmala Malhari Maya Nirmala Malhari Sharana Rahasya Pradayini Sharana Rahasya Pradayini Sab Vidhari Om Jaya Bhagavat
Gita
Radha Karini Mudha Sada Maya Karini Mudha Sada Bhava Bhaya Harini Tarini Bhava Bhaya Harini Tarini Paramananda Sada Om Jaya
Bhagavat
Gite Asura Bhava Vinashini Nashini Tamarajini Maya Nashini Tamarajini Devi Sadgunadayini Devi Sadgunadayini Hari Rasika Sajani Om Jaya Bhagavat Gite समता त्याग सिखावनी हरि मुख की बानी भैया हरि मुख की बानी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्री रानी ओम जय भगवत गीते दया सुधा हरसाविनी मातु कृपा की जय मैया मातु कृपा की जय हरि पद प्रेम दान कर हरि पद प्रेम दान कर अपनो कर लीजय ओम जय भगवत गीते ओम जय भगवत गीते मैया जय भगवत गीते हरिय कमल विहारिणी हरिय कमल विहारिणी सुंदर
सुपुनीते
ओम
जय भगवत गीते
जय भगवत
गीते
ओम जय भगवत
गीते Hari Om, thank you. It's almost 5:20. Any thoughts, comments, questions? It's nice we have finished chapter 7 now. We get to the second chapter of where Bhagavan talks about himself. Thank you all. If there are no thoughts or comments, we can say Hari Om and meet next Saturday. We will start chapter 8. Hari Om. See you all next Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you.